Hello? Hello?
Podcast Network Asia. Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, Small Conversations with Huge Impact. My name is Alec Cuenca and I'm your host. And before anything else, I just want to greet you guys a happy new year. I hope you enjoyed your holiday vacation. I hope you enjoyed your holiday season. I hope that you spent your time wisely. You spent time with the people that you love. You spent time slowing down and just being grateful and appreciative of the things around you. And I know that you're really excited and looking forward to 2021 because I honestly feel that this year will be so much better than last year. And I think that's not really hard to beat, because last year was a pretty low standard for a year in our lives. So I think we can be better this year. Now, I don't want to get your hopes up, but if you are here listening to the podcast, that means that you are committed in becoming a better version of yourself, in learning new ideas and concepts that can help you make better decisions for yourself, not just for yourself, but also for the people around you. And if you're doing that, then I am sure that you will have a better year than last year. So in this podcast, I will be talking about the 8 reasons why your New Year's resolutions won't work. Of course, it's a new year. Everybody loves New Year's resolutions. And the thing about that is I could recall, and I want to share a little story with you. First, I could recall back in 2016, me and my cousins went to this small coffee shop, and we were like 20 years old. And the 3 of us were 20, 21, 22 years old. And we said, that was the time that I was really into self-help. And I realized how important it is to write down your goals. And so I asked them, hey, let's get a cup of coffee. Let's talk about our goals, our plans in our lives, and let's write them down. So we went there, and we wrote different New Year's resolutions that we wanted to change, and we thought about the things that we wanted to keep, and we wrote them down. But 1 year afterwards, we weren't able to follow through on most of the things that we said that we would do. And there is a sad statistic about that. And there is also a disheartening statistic about New Year's resolutions that back that up. 80% of people who make New Year's resolutions will fail within 30 days. And only 8% of resolution makers actually see themselves follow through. This, in effect, will lead to more frustrations in life. And after 2020, I don't think we need any more than that. And this is why I created this podcast episode, to share with you guys what I think are the main reasons why people don't follow through with their New Year's resolutions. I've also listed down what you should do instead to make sure that your New Year's resolutions come true. So let's start off with number 1. Number 1 is you're not ready to change. Tony Robbins said, "Beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Human beings have the awesome ability to take any experience of their lives and create a meaning that disempowers them, or one that can literally save their lives. Whatever the story you are telling yourself will become the story of your life. If you have beliefs that hold you back, your New Year's resolutions become empty promises." And that's what I really believe. I believe that everybody wants to change, right? But there are only a few people who are willing to change, to actually make a change about their life. Why? Because they're holding on to the beliefs that kept them alive for so long, even though most of the beliefs that they have are limiting beliefs. And when we say limiting beliefs, It's the beliefs that crushes your potential, that limits you from actually stepping up to a new level. For example, I grew up in a family where nobody really became interested or successful in terms of talking to people or being in public service or creating content online. And since no one in my family did that, they assumed, and I was taught to believe that that won't make any money. Because in our time, the elders will say that that is not something that can provide food for your family. And for the longest time, I let myself believe that. And I also came from my mother working a 9 to 5 job, working as in a casino. My father didn't have any job. And so if I were to believe the beliefs that my parents have, I wouldn't be probably here. I wouldn't probably be here. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. I knew that my life story was full of limiting beliefs. And it all changed when I picked up a book, my first ever self-help book, which is The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it showed me that there were so many ways that we could earn money, that we could be successful. And as I dove deeper into different books, I learned that there are so many things that we can learn, but we can only do that if we drop our existing beliefs. It's like pouring continuously into a cup of water into a cup, but the cup is already full. You won't be able to have a new you won't be able to have new insights and experience and lessons if you keep on holding on to the contents inside your cup. You need to throw it away. Now, I'm not saying that you should change every single thing that you believe in, but essentially, I want you to acknowledge that there are certain beliefs that you need to let go for you to actually make the change in your life, for you to actually make your New Year's resolutions come true. Okay? So if you've always believed that you won't have any success in your love life because lagi ka namang iniiwan, you are the one who's always been cheated on, and you think that the next relationship you will still get cheated on, that the story that you are repeating to inside your head to yourself will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, because that's your belief. And again, this quote that's one of my favorite is, either you think you can or you can't, you're right, because that's your belief. And you can only make a change in your life if you actually let go of the limiting beliefs that you have. So what you should do instead is have empowering beliefs. Is have a belief that you can make it happen and you will make it happen. I want you to fully believe in yourself, believe in something bigger than yourself, that you can make this New Year's resolutions come true. You gotta stop repeating yourself that I'll always be this unhealthy person that won't exercise. I've never exercised in my life. Am I being too delusional to put my New Year's resolution? Am I delusional to think that I could weigh 70 kilos for this year? Because I've always been at the 100 mark. I don't think it's possible. Those kinds of beliefs will limit your potential and crush and will hold you back from you making your New Year's resolutions come true. So that's the first one. Okay, so that's what you should do instead. So what you should do instead, again, is create empowering beliefs. So that's the first one. The second one is you're setting unrealistic and unclear goals. It's okay to dream big, right? But it's so easy to get lost when your New Year's resolutions overwhelm you. Being unclear and unrealistic about your New Year's resolutions will only lead you to more disappointments. Back to the story that I was telling you earlier, me and my cousins, we wrote down. We wrote down different goals. I wanted to have, I think it's 200,000 pesos in my bank account. But back then, I didn't know how to get there. I didn't really know how. But for the person who has zero experience in life, zero skills, zero balance in his bank account, that is far more unrealistic than it is realistic. Okay, and that and then one of my cousins wrote, "I'll be working at a job that I like," but that's unclear. But the problem is that that's still vague. She is still not clear what is the job that she's going to like. And how can you even get to where you want to be if you don't know what success looks like when you get there? So when you set your New Year's resolutions, like I want to eat healthier, I want to exercise more, I want to lose weight, those goals are unclear and unrealistic. You might be able to get them, but they're unclear. And why is it the second reason why your New Year's resolutions might fail? Because it is a bad metric for you to measure if you're actually improving, if you can actually get there. If you said that you want to eat healthier, how can you say that you are eating healthier? Okay, so that's not a clear goal. If you say that you want to lose weight, how much weight do you want to lose? Clarity is everything. If we are not clear with what we want to look like, if we are not clear of what we want to actually achieve, it's going to be hard for us. Now, what you should do instead is to create a smart New Year's resolution. And by smart, I know you probably heard this, but I'm going to say it again. Your goals or your New Year's resolutions must be specific. It must be very, very specific. It must be measurable. So you would know whether you are making progress or you're not making progress. It's attainable. That means from where you are right now, what's your current position? You can actually get there. For example, you want to run a marathon. You can't run a marathon next month because that's not attainable. That's unattainable. You still need to prepare your body for doing the marathon. Okay? So it needs to be something attainable. So instead of having a New Year's resolution that you will run a marathon, why not make your New Year's resolution run 5 kilometers every single day? Take a 1 hour run or jog outside every single day. That's attainable, right? And that goal or that resolution will eventually lead you to the possibility of running on a marathon. It needs to be attainable. So assess where you are right now and align your New Year's resolutions with where you are right now. R, it needs to be relevant. It needs to be something that you really want to do. So for example, your New Year's resolution is you'll spend less time on social media. But your business runs on social media. But your job is mainly on social media. It's not relevant to your goals. How about spending less time watching stories of other people? And how about spend less time watching people who entertain and spend more time watching people inform you of what you could actually know instead of watching TikTok every single day? Why not listen to podcasts every single day? Right? It needs to be relevant to what your purpose is in life, of what you are actually doing in life. Okay? So if you have New Year's resolutions that are not aligned with who you are and what you want to be, and it's going to be really hard for you. So it needs to be relevant. The lastly, T, is it needs to be time based. It needs to have a deadline. Okay? If you have a dream and you put a deadline on it, that's a goal. And that's how you should set your goals. It needs to have a deadline. Deadlines are one of the greatest motivator that has ever existed in our human existence. Because when we have deadlines, you procrastinate, we cram, and we do everything to make sure that we meet the deadline. So why not? Remember the feeling when you have your boss and it says that, oh, this is your deadline. Make this happen before the deadline, and you'll do everything to make that deadline work. If you have a deadline on your school projects and your school works, you need to finish it so you could pass it on the deadline or before the deadline, until the deadline. Why not have a deadline for your dreams? Make sure that it is time-based, because only then will you know that, okay, I'm just wasting my time here. I should spend more time in building better New Year's resolutions or building better goals. Okay, you can actually see if you are making progress, or you might need to change direction and make a change in what you really want in life. It needs to be time-based. Put a deadline on your dreams. Make it a goal. Okay? And now the third reason why your New Year's resolutions won't work is that you don't have a plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. If you don't have a roadmap on how to get from point A to point B, how can you navigate through your New Year's resolutions? Our life is so much easier right now because we have Google Maps or Waze. And these apps helps us navigate through our course, through where we want to go, to help us get to where we want to go. Isn't it so much easier if our New Year's resolutions also have a plan? Don't just think about where you want to go. Also think about how you are going to get there. And of course, you need to follow through. Okay? So if you don't have a plan right now for your New Year's resolution, it's going to be hard for you. So what you should do instead is you need to break every single thing down to smaller pieces. Your dream is to inspire 1 million people. If your goal is to get 1,000 views, 1,000. If your goal is to get 1,000 followers on social media at the end of the year, then you need to make a plan on how to do it. My brother came to me yesterday and he said, I'm gonna buy an iPhone 11 for myself on my birthday in November. I said, okay, how are you gonna do it? He said, I don't know yet, but I know I will. Okay, that's cool, but that's how I created my dreams and my aspirations before, and it never worked. But right now we know better. Okay, we know that we need to have a plan for it to actually happen. That's the first part. You need to believe that you can buy an iPhone 11 on your birthday, but you need to think about what are the possible ways for you to actually buy it, to actually have the money to buy it. Will your allowance be enough? No? Then if not, what are you going to do about it? What's the plan B? What's the plan C? oh, okay, I and some of my cousins were saying that, hey, you shouldn't be like that. Don't be too hard on him. Just let him enjoy him. Just let him have hope. That's true. I'm letting him have hope, but sometimes hope is dangerous because we're holding on to something that will only lead us to disappointments. And having a plan will help you to decrease the chances of being disappointed. And it will increase your odds of actually making your New Year's resolutions work. If you have New Year's resolutions, it needs to be broken down into baby steps. You want to lose weight? Okay. What program are you going to follow? Which gym will you enroll in? What are you going to wear on your first day, on your second day? What's what's your pre-workout meal? What's your post-workout meal? You need to plan as much as possible because you won't have control over everything that will happen. But if you are prepared for most of the things, then it will save you a lot of heartbreak and it will increase your chances of being successful because you prepared for it. You're ready. You want to earn money? Okay, what business will you put up? What's the name of your business? What's the logo of your business? What's your marketing strategy? You need to figure out what are you going to do right now to make your New Year's resolutions come true. Focus on the baby steps. Break it down to small pieces. Think about what you can do right now, at this moment, to make your New Year's resolutions come true. And write it down and follow through. Number 4, the fourth reason why New Year's resolutions won't work is you think motivation will keep you going. Don't get me wrong, motivation is important. Motivation is what gets you started. Motivation is what gets you started. But discipline will keep you going. Your motivation or your willpower, as some other people would suggest, is very, very important. But the problem with that is that your willpower or your motivation is only connected to a very limited mental source. It's like a muscle, okay? And the more you train it, the more it gets stronger. But when you overuse it, it will get strained. And if you always rely on your motivation every single day, it will become exhausting. I get that question a lot of times. A lot of people would say, how do I stay motivated? My answer is, why? Why do you need to stay motivated? Motivation is one thing to help you keep going, but it's not everything. You can be demotivated, you can be unmotivated, and still do the things that you need to do. And how do you do that? You need to build a system that will put you into action. James Clear said that motivation is overvalued. Environment matters more. When your motivation is non-existent, your system will keep you in track. You need to focus on building your habits and provide an environment that can promote your success. So for example, you want to lose weight. Maybe it's better for you to eat on a smaller plate. Maybe it's important for you to to uninstall the Food Panda or the Grab food that you have on your phone. Maybe it's better for you to stop spending time with people who just always eats because you want to lose weight. Your environment plays a huge role in whether you are going to be successful or unsuccessful in your New Year's resolutions. So I want you to first and foremost read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It gives emphasis on how you could change your environment. You could remove your cues, make your cues invisible, make the triggers of your bad habits invisible, and essentially build a system that could cultivate your good habits and remove your bad habits so that you can actually make your New Year's resolutions come true. Okay? So read that book. There's so much to learn about it, and let me know if you learned something from it. The fifth one is related to the last one. The fifth reason why your New Year's resolutions won't work is because you don't have a support system. Again, as I've said, your environment plays a huge role in your New Year's resolution success. No one can achieve anything without help and support. Believe it or not, the buddy system actually works. So if you want to stay motivated, if you want to stay accountable for your New Year's resolutions, then you need to have a solid support system. You need to do what you need to do. What you should do instead is you need to find an accountability partner or an accountability group. Camaraderie gets you going. Okay, it adds up to that fire. When you tell it to other people, when you say your goals or your New Year's resolutions to other people, the chances of you making it work will increase. Why? Because there is pride involved. You want to make sure that you got to follow through because you said it, right? And when you said it, you need to make it happen, because if you don't, then that shows your character. You're just someone who talks a lot, who doesn't put in the work, who doesn't make it happen. So I want you to find people that you truly value, that you value your opinion, that you really trust, and let them know what your New Year's resolutions are. And so the next time that they see you, you gotta make sure that you're showing up with a proud face, that you actually did what you said before. Okay? So having an accountability partner is very, very important. Everybody needs help and support. There was even one study that said people who use accountability partners are 65% likely to meet a goal. And that goes up to 95% if they schedule ongoing checkup meetings. So if you want to achieve your New Year's resolutions and you want to improve, you should not only make promises to yourself, you should also make promises to people around you. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. You can also hire a coach. You can also hire a trainer or an assistant to help you out. And if you are looking for someone to help you out, I've created a coaching program for 2021. If you want to become a better version of yourself, send me a message and I'll let you know more about it. Okay, send me a message on Instagram at Small Talk Podcast, and let's try to talk more on how I could help you become a better you. Okay? So the sixth reason is you're not clear with why you're doing it. Even if you write up your New Year's resolutions, even if you drop your limiting beliefs, even if you create plans for them, even if you have a system for you to execute, when you don't have a clear reason why you're doing it, it will be difficult for you to push through. What you should do instead is have a bigger why. Imagine you're the captain of a ship with the 5 most important people in your life. After hours on the water, a storm hits you. You then go up front, pick up the steering wheel, and you muster up all what's left inside of you to make sure that you all survive. If you were alone on that boat, chances are you'll just give up. You just surrender. No one will know, right, that you gave up. No one will know. But if you have 5 of the most important people, you have a bigger why. It's not about you. It's about the 5 people that you love. You got to make sure that they survive. And you're going to do it for them. You got to get back up there and do everything that you can to make sure that you all survive. If you have a bigger why, it's so much easier for you to push through even when things get hard. It's very important that we fully understand why we are doing the things that we are doing and for who are we doing it for. Okay, and it doesn't need, and it needs to be something bigger than yourself. Do it for your partner, for your siblings, for your parents, for your friends, for your community, or for your faith. Anything that is bigger than you. You must connect your why to something bigger than you so that when our systems fail us, we can push a little bit further because we know that our why will always be there, standing to help us out. You gotta be clear with why you're doing it. Okay? That's the sixth one. That's the sixth one. The seventh reason why your New Year's resolutions won't work is because you think it's gonna be easy. A lot of people think New Year's resolutions are cool and exciting. But the truth is, New Year's resolutions are tough. Self-improvement requires a lot of work. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. It's nice that you have something to put on your Starbucks planner. It's nice to have something to put on your Starbucks planner. But putting in the work to make it happen is something that will push you to the limits. Believe me when I say that. A lot of people think that having a goal to change yourself is easy. It's not. And the earlier we understand this, the earlier we can actually face the truth about changing ourselves. What you should do instead is you need to build your grit. You need to understand that changing yourself will require a lot of sacrifice. The road to becoming better will be filled with doubts, fear, disappointments. And if you can stay committed, especially when things get rough, you'll have a higher chance of getting where you want to be. Being able to persevere through anything will be crucial in making your New Year's resolutions come true. And if you want to learn more about grit, I suggest you read the book Grit by Dr. Angela Duckworth. It will teach you how you could build your grit. How could you have more grit or be grittier so that you can make your New Year's resolutions work. The last reason why your New Year's resolutions won't work is because you are impatient. People easily give up on their New Year's resolutions because they think that the results are going to be quick. Changing something that you have embedded in yourself over the past year or the past years will happen over time. And people easily forget that. Real progress. And people easily forget that. That real progress doesn't take place over a short period of time. Real progress takes place over a long period of time. What you should do instead is, of course, be patient. You don't get the results by focusing on the results. You get the results when you focus on the actions that produce the results. So I want you to stop focusing on the results. Instead, I want you to fall in love with your actions to help you become a better version of yourself. Fall in love with those actions so you could fall in love with the process. And when you fall in love with the process, the results will come. Results will happen over time. Trust me on this. So put in the work, be consistent, and be patient. Okay? So those are the reasons why most of the people fail in their New Year's resolutions. And I hope that you learned a lot of things. So if you have New Year's resolutions right now, I suggest that you go back and look at them and review them and take away the different things that you've learned from this podcast episode to make sure that you increase your chances of making your New Year's resolutions work. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Again, if you are looking for a coach, if you are looking for an accountability partner, then I have created a coaching program It's 3 months, and I only have a few slots left. So if you are interested in that, then go ahead and send me a message on Small Talk Podcast. It's not gonna be free, but because because I will only be working with a few people, I honestly believe that you will get more than what you are going to pay for the coaching program. So send me a message if you are interested. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. Again, this is Alec Cuenca from Small Talk Podcast, and I will talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.